Welcome to the Micky and Woody Show with me, the main man Micky and some guy with a beard called Paul Wood.
In association with Get a Tax Rebate, 1895 Sports, Mesa Vienna Aesthetics, CDX Security.
Okay, welcome to episode 8 of the Micky and Woody Show. Another great week and another great guest lined up, Micky.
Yeah, another special guest, former colleague of mine, good friend as well. Obviously, I don't see him as much now because he's the other side of the world. But nonetheless, when I do speak, it's like we've always been, never been away. So really proud and a pleasure to welcome Mark Edmondson on, the Scandinavian / Hesian legend. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I'm great, mate. Thanks for having me. It's been awesome to see you pop up on your first pilot show. And then I've followed you ever since and watched every show. So I was just like, right, let's get me on and let's get some tales told and have a laugh.
Brilliant. I know the time difference. We're working it around you because obviously your late evening time now over there. So
yes, well, I'm not one for going to bed early, and then if I did it at your 6 o'clock, that's my 3 p.m. So I'd have probably had to stay up all night. I'd have been knackered, but it's worked out well.
Well, just say that Mark is in Australia for everybody who doesn't know. So whereabouts are you staying in Australia, Mark?
I live in the famous Surfers Paradise, which you've probably been to, on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I live right in the middle of, I live in like a hotel / resort, just a couple of streets away from the beach. It's a naughty place.
Yeah.
Living the dream then. Living the dream.
Living the absolute dream.
I've just got to say before we do crack on as well, that this week I'm looking a little bit more presentable because I've got my Micky and Woody t-shirt on. All our sponsors available here. 1895 Sports, CDX Security, Mesa Vienna Aesthetics, who I've had this week. I've had some vitamin B jabs, and I'm flying. So they've been great for us based over in Wigan, and Get a Tax Rebate. So just appreciate our sponsors, and got the Micky and Woody cups as well for the cups of tea. So we're flying.
Good stuff.
Joe Rogan, look out.
You want to
Joe Rogan, look out.
That's it. That's the dream, isn't it?
We're coming for him, aren't we?
We're not here for the good time. We're here to take over.
That's all right. Conor McGregor, love
it. So just kicking off, Edmo. Obviously, tell us where you are from. It's not a rugby area as such, but tell us a little bit about you bringing up and who spotted you, because it was in relation to our first guest who hit you up.
Yeah, right. Just to summarise, northwest of England, about an hour away from you guys, in Lancaster, there's a little village called Hesian. Just from the back arse of nowhere, there's not much going. Hard-working town. I was brought up at 11 playing rugby union, and always aspired to play for England, Twickenham, all that shit. But as the years went on, I started to really get into my rugby and get some success. So I fell in love with it even more. And then I started to see the rugby league. And then I fell in love with the Wigan era. Remember the Martin O'Fay, obviously, Jason Robinson, Andy Farrell, all that lot. And I was hooked. So just naturally, I went into a crazy training routine, which was 2K run before school. I trained in the gym at lunchtime, and then after school, I'd train at school, and then I played 2 games at weekend. So I was literally just obsessed. I got some great advice from my auntie when I was about 14, right? She said to me, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And I says, "I want to be a professional, either rugby league player or rugby union player." And she says, "Tell me what you're doing." So I said, "I'm training every day, playing twice a week, watching, obsessing over it, doing nothing else." And she says, "Right, if I was to tell you one thing that would really help you in the future? You don't have to believe in what I'm going to tell you, you just have to do it. Would you do it forever and just keep on doing it? And I says, right. And she says, every night before you go to bed, close your eyes for 10 minutes and imagine yourself already doing the things that you want to do in the future, like lifting the trophies, being a professional, signing the contract, playing rugby league, singing the national anthem for England at Twickenham, all that sort of stuff. And you just have to feel it, pretend you're there. You don't need to tell anyone about it. You don't need to go looking where's it going to show up. All you have to do is do it. And I obsessed, and I put them two things together. Now I know law of attraction, subconscious programming. And to put that with my, a little bit of craziness, my work ethic, it led me till I was 17 and I got selected for the North of England Rugby Union to play against Wales in Wales. And it was the pinnacle of my career so far as an amateur. And on the sideline was Harry Wellens, which is Paul Wellens' dad. And I tried to play rugby union like a rugby league player. So I was trying to run inside lines, they run outside lines. Well, they did back then, changed a bit now. The tackles were round the hips, round the ankles. I'm trying to knock people's heads off. And he spotted a potential rugby league player within me and then gave me a call at school and said, hey, Mark, been watching you. You seem like you've got a bit of a similar style to rugby league. Do you like rugby league and would you like to come for a trial? And I says, yeah, no problem. Where at? And he goes, St. Helens. And I went, the St. Helens, the ones that just won the Super League 1996, etc., Challenge Cup. And he's like, yeah, the St. Helens Academy. You've got 3 weeks to prove yourself. Leeds Rhinos Academy with they were the champions in the league, like Kevin Sinfield and all that were playing. And I had no clue what I was doing. I was just doing things like what Henry Paul was doing for Bradford Bulls at the time and doing dummies and spinning and all this shit. And I ended up scoring 2 tries. So I was buzzing, really confused. It's such a different game. The next week I went against Bradford Bulls. In the last 10 minutes, I scored the winning try from like 5 meters out. Don't know how the hell I did that. Next minute, my mum's been taken into the chairman's office, 4.5-year contract, boom, the rest is history.
That's outstanding, that, because do you know what, listening to you there, it's definitely like, I'll sit down with my son and I'll say, listen to this bit of information. Because, like you said there, the law of attraction, in terms of imagining that you've already done that process and it coming true, because I'm a massive believer in that, because I did it myself unintentionally. I used to sit in my bedroom when all my mates were going out and they were drinking on the streets or they was going out nightclubbing. I would be in my bedroom and I would be sort of picturing me doing the stuff that I wanted to do, so winning a Challenge Cup medal, signing a contract. And at the time, I'd not a clue how powerful that was going to become and how subconsciously it becomes in you. But it is such a big process in, achieving your dream. You generally have to believe that you're actually doing that thing. And, we've just been saying there, Conor McGregor, I know that he does it, but I generally do believe if I want to thought about those processes, I always use, I'm not saying this is because of me, but when I was at Warrington, they got to the first Challenge Cup in 10 years. And unfortunately, about 4 weeks before, I broke my leg. So I missed the first Challenge Cup final. But when the lads won the trophy, I remember being in the stands and they was lifting it up, and I was happy for the boys, because I was happy for Breezy as well, because he'd been there a long time, and a couple of the other lads. But I was so devastated. I was really, really down in the dumps. But I can remember the day after, I started visualising lifting that trophy. The year after, we went back and we won that trophy. Now, I'm not saying that's because of me, but I just believe that imagining doing something, visualising something is such a big process.
Yeah. I'll just echo that, Mark. Sorry, because I remember when we were at St Helens and I broke my foot in the semi-final in 2004, and again I hobbled round Cardiff, played Wigan at Cardiff, and we were fantastic that day. And I was so happy for people like yourself and the other boys, because we were a close knit bunch, weren't we? Yourself and myself particularly were very close. But when I was hobbling around on crutches, I just thought, I can't believe it that I'm not going to lift that trophy. The thing that I dreamt of as a kid, that I had exactly the same things when I'm not sure if the kids these days do it like this anymore. I don't. I always speak to my dad about it. I used to see on the toilet, just sat on the toilet. Oh, Micky, I'm walking out for Great Britain now. He's lifting the trophy. He always says it, and he always, especially when he's had a few drinks, he'll tell everybody that. And I'm like, Dad, shut up.
Yeah. Well, Micky, exactly the same with you. Exactly the same as you. When I missed out on the '99 grand final, the 2000, the 2001, the 2002 Challenge Cups, and I kept on just missing out on the frigging finals. And I was like, I'm going to fucking lift them cups. Yeah. I'm going to lift them, and I'd just go even deeper. And I'd never wither my faith in my belief, same as all of you. And it comes to fruition as long as you put in the work in, obviously.
Yeah. It's massive, that belief, though, isn't it? Obviously you've got to put that in with hard work and sacrifice, haven't you? It's a powerful tool, isn't it? Obviously, you've certainly gone on to, your life after rugby. We'll touch on that later, but I don't think, especially youngsters these days, don't realise how powerful that can be.
I think as well, obviously, there's no, I don't think there's any disrespect in saying, us three guys in here, we were probably seen, we weren't the Sean Longs and, I wasn't an Adrian Morley. We wasn't superstars of teams. We certainly wasn't. We were decent players. We all played.
Hey, I was all right.
Listen, we've all played international rugby on here, right? But what I'm trying to say is that, we wasn't the superstars of the team. We were the workhorses in there. So it becomes my pet hate when people give up too easy, because I just think if you've got a bit of nous about you and you've got some determination, you can literally achieve anything you want to do. And I'm not saying you'll be the greatest of all time, but what I'm saying is you will achieve great things. I am so happy with what I achieved. To be able to sit here and say, I've got 3 Challenge Cup medals in my trophy cabinet. I've got a couple of international caps. That has far exceeded my expectations. So for me, the pet hate of people giving up too easy, it really, really frustrates the life out of me, because I think if I can do it, anybody can.
Yeah. No, it's a special way of thinking, but it's a combination of your genetics. It's a combination of your purpose and how much you love something. So you must, you've got to love. You've heard this probably all before, but there's a combination, and I don't know whether it's first or the last thing that you put into the puzzle, but no, not many people. That's why I've got a career. There's not many people taught what's going on between the heads and how it leads to how you feel. Psychology 101 is basically you've either got positive thoughts or negative thoughts, right? You either speak negative words or you speak positive words. You either see what you want or you see what you don't want. And as soon as you're wavering in between, you're giving your body mixed messages. And it's people like Conor McGregor that practices and as well does the work ethic. He keeps himself in what I call alignment. And psychological alignment, I've got some amazing stories. I'm not sure if we've got the time to cover today, but I'll nestle in a few. I train people to visualize and watch their thoughts of what they're visualizing and daydreaming and fantasizing about day in, day out, 24 hours a day, right? And I make sure that they see only what they want. They don't have to believe in it just yet. Belief is the building of many hundreds of hours of doing it, right? And your body doesn't know what's right or wrong. What's right or wrong? What's right or wrong? Yeah, that's the right term. Basically, whatever you feed to it, it accepts your subconscious, right? Our conscious is the one that is analysing everything and judging and and getting fearful and stuff like that. But the subconscious just goes, okay, I'm seeing loads of negative pictures, I'm hearing loads of negative words, and it gives you the reaction, which is fear and anxiousness and doubtfulness and hesitance and all that. But once you get used to like training your thoughts, seeing what you want, telling yourself you're going to frigging get it, even if you got dropped, even if you've had a shocker, even though you've got injured, you still keep in alignment, and you speak the words, I'm coming back, I'm going to get it, and you're working towards it. Trust me, if you stay like that, things are going to show up. As soon as you start wavering on that, then you start going into down the rabbit hole into a slippery slope, and you become what your thoughts are, basically.
And I know that you were going to destined for something like this, because we used to, if we'd go from Knowlesy Road to David Lloyd's to Trim, I remember jumping in Edmund's car and he'd bring his sun visor down and there'd be a little post-it note saying, "You are the best, you're going to be brilliant today." And then I'd go for the radio on in his car, there's another one there, "Be the best you can be today." Honestly, and it always sticks with me, Mark, honestly. Always sticks with me. I thought, he's positive thinking all the time. And at first, I just think you were crazy at first, but honestly, it was no surprise that you are doing what you're doing now.
It makes sense, doesn't it? Because I was introduced to self-help books, Tony Robbins, when I was like 17. And there was a guy called Jack Penman who was our S&C coach before you came.
Yeah.
And he saw how hard I was working, but I wasn't getting selected for the academy. Now, it was coming halfway through the season when I just signed. And if I didn't play for a full season, I reckon I'd have got booted out. But he says, "Look, I've never seen anyone train as hard as you." He says, "But there's something else that you can do." And he says, "If you're prepared to listen, I'll happily tell you." Because I was the last one in the gym. Everyone had fucked off home. So this is when I was 17. I never forgot it. And that's the reason why you saw the post-it notes and the books and the way I was. He said, "Do you know exactly what your vision is for the future at St Helens?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to play first team." And he goes, "Is that it?" And I went, "I want loads of money." And he goes, "Is that it?" And he basically was pointing out to me that I'm being really vague. He says, "The universe will give you exactly what you want if you're so specific." So basically, he gave me an exercise to go away and write down my vision. So I imagine myself multiple championships, being a part of a crazy era, loads of money, properties, sports cars, fame, a great role model, traveling the world, fame, everything. And I wrote it all down. The next thing he goes, "Good, I want you to memorize that vision statement that you've written down." Then he goes, "I've got an audio here that tells you how fucking good you are every single night while you go to sleep." And it goes into your subconscious, and over time, your body will start to feel the words that's been said. Then he said, "I want you to visualize." So hypnosis is words telling you that you're amazing, and visualization is no words, and you're just seeing, role playing in your brain. Along with that, he taught me how to set goals, overcome problems. And he said, "Your work ethic's there, you just need to obsess over this." And that was the second mentor in my life, again, that was reminding me about the mind stuff. So I just went even further with that. Then I played in the under-20s, won the Challenge Cup with them. Then I got first team contract 19, made my debut, never stopped. I know there was lots of hard times and stuff like that, but I just would never stop, yeah.
I fucking love all that, mate. This is my thing. And I said to Micky during the week, I said, this is the most excited I've been to do a podcast. We had Anthony Carolla on the other week. We had Merton Fight on last week. We had Tony Adams on. But this is the stuff I love talking about, because, and do you know what? As a player, even though I was doing the visualization stuff, there's other things that I weren't really open to, and it was probably seen as a little bit like witchcraft, like the hypnosis and that type. So fuck off. I'll think about what I want to do, and I'll practice as hard as I can. But what you're saying there, it plays a vital role, give yourself little subconscious messages. I'm open to it now. And I'm doing it myself now, even though I'm not involved in sport as such.
Yep.
I'm doing that type of stuff now, and how much of a role it
Do it
actually
for
plays.
everything. Do it for everything. Everything that you want in life. It's the same process. Did you watch the podcast with Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan?
No, I've not seen that one yet.
Right. Just Mike Tyson said at a young age, I think he was about 15 or 16, Customato started taking him over as a coach. Customato was a psychologist and pre-made him a tape to listen to, a cassette tape with headphones. And all it said was, you're going to be one of the world's most destructive world champions ever. And it just kept on playing in his ears while he was going to sleep. And he told Joe Rogan, well, I had to listen to this tape for years, and I worked hard, and plus my background, you know, I'm a bit of a nut job. And he says it all come together, and I was God. And Joe Rogan's like, fucking hell, he's been doing hypnosis since he was 15 years of age, and no wonder, you know. So it's honest to God, it's massive. Like I said, I've got so many crazy stories, and I'll hopefully get through a few of them.
We'll just start off before potentially we'll go into your career after rugby, just a little bit during your career. You know, you had a couple of injuries. You know, you struggled with your shoulders, didn't you, and stuff. It was you've got a little story to tell that, really, haven't you? Yeah,
I have. Yeah, you'll like this, boy. So Woody. So basically, over 150 games, whatever, St Helens, and I was loving life. Lots of success. Don't need to go into the details, but just everything was on par. Play for England. We went on 2 tours, didn't we? 2000. Oh, this is where all the shit hit the fan. 2005 was my best ever year. Scored 3 tries against Wigan. Oh no, it's 2004. The Sydney Roosters saw me on the game against Wigan where it was 75-0 and I got a hat-trick as a prop forward, right? So they came knocking in 2005 and signed me. And I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke at first. So I'm in the greatest shape of my life, Woody. So this has got to do with you, right? So greatest shape of my life. I've signed the contracts. I'm off contract with St Helens. I've told them I'm just going to play out the remainder of the games. And I've also been selected for England that year. So I was thinking, fucking hell, there's a possible chance we could win the grand final. I've got a contract in Australia for 2 years. I'm going to be like Adrian Morley. And I'm going to play for England at the end of the year in Test series. I'm just like, fuck me. Brilliant. So I think we were playing Hull. And I put a shotty with my left on shoulder on someone. I think it was that big lump King or whatever his name was. And I just knew there was something wrong. And I went to the doctor, I had a scan. And it turns out I had what's called a Bankart lesion. You probably both had one, dislocation and a snap at the back. So I had the opportunity of rehabbing it or making a decision later on in the year if I get surgery. So that was that one. So 2 or 3 games later, we're playing against Warrington. Yeah, that's right. And it was at the Halliwell Stadium. Is it called that now?
Yeah, still the Halliwell Jones, yeah.
Right. So Woody, I had executives from Sydney fly in, VIP guests, and they're watching just me. They wanted to meet me and all that sort of stuff. And I think there was only about 6 games left of the season. So I'm thinking, right, I'm going to do an Adrian Morley. I'm just going to whack everyone, fly out the line. I'm going to fucking just try and kill myself running at people. So I could see you, Woody. You come round, you're just sneaking in for a hit, and there's no one with you. So I'm just thinking, fucking fly out of the line. So I flew out the line. I hit you as hard as I could. And you're probably about 12, 15 kilos heavier than me. I was like 92 kilos as a prop, or 95 at best sometimes. So fuck knows what you were giving away. But I whacked you as hard as I could, and I felt a stinger. And my arm, if you can see my arm went like that, like how Micky walks on a Friday night when he's been on the piss. So my arm's like this, and I literally can't put my arm down, right? one of your players drops the ball on the next set. We get, gives away a penalty. Long, he boots it really quickly at the touch. And I'm the right side prop forward that needs to rip the ball in. So my arm's like this, and I'm thinking Longy's going to kill me if I knock this ball on. So I'm pacing myself like fast as I can run because I need to impress everyone. I catch the ball with one hand. This hand's just knackered. And luckily for me, I got through the game and didn't drop the ball. So that was the situation with Woody. So basically, I broke both shoulders. So I actually dislocated my shoulder on New Woody. I've got nerve damage for the rest of my life. Have you seen Moz's shoulder where he's got like a little bone sticking out, no muscle?
Yeah.
So I've got that now, and I've still got the nerve damage all down my fingers. And sometimes my arm tries to go up if I'm fatigued or something. It's fucking weird. So anyway, 2 broken shoulders, and I've just signed for the Roosters. I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm in big trouble here.
I was obviously visualising a little bit harder than you then that week, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was, right? It was crazy. So I had to pull out of the rest of the season, get this shoulder done. Oh no, I went to the surgeon, another surgeon, and I take my top off, and I've not told anyone about the shoulder I've just done on you. And he goes straight for that shoulder, and I actually went to have that shoulder done. So my physio's going, no, you've got the wrong shoulder, it's that one. And he goes, what the fuck's the matter with that one? I'm just thinking, oh, fuck. So anyway, the end of my season was surgery, rehab on this one. I had to pull out of the 2005 England team. And I had about 6 or 7 months in recovery and then went out to the Roosters. So,
do you know what? Just without rubbing salt in the wounds, or 2005, I actually got picked for England that year, and I got player of the series. So that could have been you, Edmore.
Could have been. Oh, it's not meant to be. It's what's meant to be. It's fate, isn't it?
It probably, the thing is though, with your attitude, Edmore, it probably made you stronger and more determined as a player.
Yes. I was pretty well. I've got my next story about the NRL, which I'll wait to ask that question later. But my mind has always stayed that in everything I do, as Micky will probably tell you. But with being 92 or 95 kilos as a prop forward, running in like a psychopath and throwing body around, I got to a stage where my life was living hell. Like literally living hell, broken spine, bulging disc in the neck, 2 broken shoulders and the rest of the shit, broken, smashed out teeth, nose, ears, fucking everything.
That was just going out at weekend, not Edmore.
Not just when you're on the piss.
That was, mate. That's happened as well.
We've got some stories of it, haven't we?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that was my career at St Helens to the end, and that's a little bit, about Woody.
Well, just your time in Oz, obviously a brilliant club in the Sydney Roosters. Again, you went out though. What was it like when you went over there with, coming off the back of your injuries and,
Well, yeah, so I had to really kick into the mind stuff and keep myself in line with what I wanted, even though I had 2 dodgy shoulders and I was in rehab for 7 months when I got there. I was in awe of the fucking place. Can you remember when we played in the World Club Challenge and they smashed us?
Oh, yeah. They were so good that day.
Yeah, and that was like a rain check on how I thought that we were the fucking shit, which we were, and it was like we were a second team against them.
Yeah, well.
So when I got there, I was really looking forward to witnessing the inside of what's going on. Why are they so good? And I realised why they're so good. Like just the facilities and the weather, and like there's little kids like 10-year-old that can spin a ball right, left, kick off both feet, fucking take it to the line, put someone through short. It was just hard to fathom, and I found myself in a little battle of staying positive. Can I make it over here? The level of competition that I had to try and get as a first teamer was unbelievable. Like monsters, 130 kilos, like Kiwis and Polynesian Islanders and stuff like that. And I'm just like, fucking hell, 95 kilo prop here. So anyway, got fit. You know what, like with the fitness, Mick, I can beat everyone at the fitness, but then when it comes to a game, I'm knackered. So I really impressed Ricky Stewart, you know, coming back from injury and in the pre-season, I was just killing it, got into the greatest shape of my life. But because of my shoulder injury, I couldn't start the season up until about round 10. I played a handful of warm-up games for the reserves and tested my shoulders out. And after a while, I started to get used to the Australian way of playing, which was quite a lot like Ian Millwood used to play us. But the defence over here is so tight and you can't get away with a lot. So I was just getting ragdolled everywhere. But the thing that helped me was coming on the inside skirt that you used to put me on.
Yeah.
Always got me out of trouble. I'd make breaks and stuff, but it was really hard graft. There was an injury, and Ricky Stewart put me on for my debut against the Broncos. And do you know what? I held my own. Apart from I'd been put on about 15 minutes into the game. The pace was just ridiculous, like against Lockyer and that. You just didn't know where the ball was going, and I was breathing so heavy. I've never had this experience before. I nearly shit myself. It was like my arse was trying to get some oxygen because I couldn't get any more in my fucking mouth. I'm thinking, what?
It's the old saying, isn't it? Like hanging out your arse, aren't you? And it literally.
Honestly, God, I was like, Webke's running at me, and it's taking everything I've got in my life just to hang on to one leg and get him down. And I can remember just sprinting back, and he had a repeat set on us, and I'm just like, I'm going to put my hand up and just tell Ricky, get me off. And I was that tired, and then I could feel my arse loosening, and I'm just thinking, oh fuck, I'm going to shit all over my legs here. And I had to use the muscles to keep it in anyway. I got over that.
We've skipped forward a bit though, because you had a very successful year. Success at Saints, and we'll move forward. You've gone to the Roosters, but then you had a back injury, and obviously you've come back to Super League there, and ended up signing for Salford. What was your experience? First of all, tell us about the back injury, and then how the Salford. Why you chose Salford as a club?
Right. So I had a stress fracture in my spine, but I had 3 bulging discs. Two were popping forward, and one was prolapsed or something, or whatever the bullshit term was. I just really stiffened up in my hips, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't even touch my toes, and my shoulders were good at the time. So I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, they're going to think I'm a car fucking crash victim here. So I think I won that year, the most timed in physio, by the way. I won the award or something. But so I went for a scan, a full body scan, and it turns out I've got bulging discs in my neck. I've got virtually no L5 left, and the 2 bulges above that, but they weren't bulging to the right or left, so they weren't touching my nerves. So the physio said, get surgery straight away. And I've heard about the nightmares of surgery. Like my best mate, he played rugby union for Sale, and he got surgeries on his back and neck. And then once he had them, he lasted about 6 months later, and he's done. So I declined, and I got an epidural, I think it was, to try and get me through the season. I couldn't train, I couldn't play. My life was a misery. So Ricky Stewart took me into the office, and he had a heart-to-heart with me. He said, Edmo, your videos, your footage previous to coming to this club were exactly what I wanted. We thought we could put weight on you, get you up to like 102 kilos, get you fit. We've been lenient with your injuries, and now you've got an injury, and we've found another injury in your neck. The future's, it's bleak, mate. I'm going to be truly honest with you. He says you can stay for the second year. If you're capable, you're not going to play first team. I reckon you'll play reserves. So I said, it's up to you. So I went, fuck this, I'm going on. So I got on the phone to Andy Clark, my agent, as you probably know him well. And then he says, we've got you St. Helens, obviously. So you can go straight back to Saints, 2-year contract, happy days. We've got Wigan who want you, and we've got Bradford who want you. Bradford with the same money, and he goes, oh, we've got Salford that are offering the highest amount of money. And it was literally triple of what Wigan and Saints were offering me. And I had a little bit of a big head. I don't know why, just stupid ego kicking in and, you know, just young and dumb. But I thought this is how stupid my decision was. But like to this day, it pisses me off. But again, I learnt now it's not about the money. I would have loved to play for Bradford, Wigan or St Helens again. But my number one would have been Saints. But because they didn't offer me a lot more than I was on previously, my ego kicked in. I went, you know what? Fuck you. If I'd have gone back, I think we won 2 trophies that year.
Yeah,
I'd have got great help. I'd have got great help, loads of bonuses. I might not have got the injuries that I further got when I came back to Salford. But I picked Salford because I wanted to live in Manchester. What a stupid reason. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, it makes me sick. And so I decided to go for Salford. They were playing well. I thought, I'll be the captain. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know what I was thinking. I thought, I don't want to drive to Bradford. Don't want to live in Bradford. Wigan are the pies. I'd prefer to go to Saints. Saints aren't offering me enough money. I'll go to Salford. Fuck it. And then I healed up for about 6 months. I really struggled with nerve damage, trying to come back from my back. My shoulders were decent. And my journey started with Salford. Now, if there's any Salford people listening, I'm not degrading the club. It was just from where I'd come from, and then the Sydney Roosters, and what then I landed on at the time was, I got to watch my words. Just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. The first week or two, I realised it was my nightmare was coming. And it's going to be a long year. And I broke my shoulder again.
Was that playing against Wigan? Was that against Wigan?
That was against you, wasn't it? Was you playing?
I was playing for Wigan then, yeah. And I remember you going down. I was genuinely concerned for you, mate. I thought, oh, no, not again. Yeah. I could see you're in a lot of discomfort when you went down. And, I know.
Right. Yeah. Do you know when you're a lead runner and you don't run as hard as you can because you think it's going out the back? It was my fault. And then he passed me the ball and I wasn't ready and I fell awkwardly and just snapped my shoulder completely.
I remember
that. And then I had a reoccurrence of my back once I came back, 6 weeks later or whatever. And I was done, mate. I was absolutely done. I was mortified. I couldn't believe St Helens were fucking killing it. Oh, it was a world of pain.
I can sympathise there with you with the back. I mean, it wasn't quite as severe as you, but I prolapsed a disc myself, and me and Micky was at Warrington at the time, and I remember trying to get ready. What I did is I played over in Catalan, went with an herniated disc, had the epidural, and thought, well, I'll just play, I'll not rest. Flew over to Catalan, played against Catalan, absolutely in agony the day after the game. But it was Wigan the week after, and I tried to get myself fit for that. It just wasn't happening. Touch wood, when I've had the operation, I've had no issues with it since, but having it, I don't know if you remember, Micky, I turned up at your house once, and my wife drove to Micky's house, and I had to lie on the back seat with my feet out to the window because I literally couldn't sit up. And and I'm stupid enough to think in about 4 days' time I'm going to be playing rugby against Wigan.
I know, it's crazy.
You come to our house and I think you lie on couch and you got moved, but you used to do that anyway. You do it all the time, nothing new, so I didn't think there was anything wrong.
It was on your rug. You had a big rug on your floor, and I just got down and I lay down on your rug and you said, what are you doing? But this is, and you know what? It's great to hear these stories. I know it's not great for you at the time, but it's great that people see and hear the injuries that we sustain as rugby players, because I had I ruptured my bicep, but it weren't involved in rugby, and I was sat in hospital on the board, and I thought, how many operations have I had? And I worked it out. I had 15 operations playing rugby. Do you know what I mean? And that's a lot of operations. And now you stop playing, you're not training as much, and your body's just absolutely in bits.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I listened to your podcast when you were mentioning you had 4 reconstructions or something, or
5.
And 5. I thought to myself in that moment, I only had fucking 1. Maybe I should have had more. Maybe I should have another crack. Do you know? And then I was thinking, did I retire too quickly? Like, my head was all over the place. I wish I had a better thought pattern back then, or some advice. But if you carried on playing for more seasons, I'd have loved to have gone through a bit more pain, maybe get everything tightened up. But because I went to Salford and they got relegated, and then I only got Castleford as my last option because no one wanted me because with the back, the shoulders, I had no more options and I'd lost my brand. So that's why I went, get rid of it. But imagine if I could rewrite, go to St Helens, get another shoulder surgery if I needed it. And we win 2 more, and I could have been still playing for St Helens for another 5. Who knows? But hindsight, right?
Exactly, that's it. I mean, how do you deal with that? Because you know what? I have a lot of ifs and buts, but what I find with me personally is if I start reminiscing too much and thinking, well, if I'd have only had done this, I'd have only had done that, it can put you in a pretty negative spot, can't it? So is it something you've got to really work on that?
You need to be conscious that you right. So I've got a saying: look back on your past, the good things, and feel proud. The things that you've done wrong and stuff like that, they're the things that you can learn from to not have that mindset again, or not do them behaviours again. I've done so, and so haven't we all. We've all done the things that we wanted to change. We wish we'd done this. That's just what life is. So, I get a lot. We're going to talk about identity and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that have lost their identity, like people from the military. And they come out of the military and they're not this officer anymore. And all their conversations is about back in the day. I had to stop myself about speaking about my past unless I'm asked, right? So I promised myself I'll never bring up who I was if no one asks. Like, this is professional sort of thing. But I found myself in the early days just volunteering who I was all the time. This man said to me, he says, so what do you do, Mark? I said, well, I'm a former England international St Helens Sydney Roosters player. And he goes, no, I didn't ask you what you was. He goes, what are you now? And at the table with new friends and drinking and barbecues and stuff, all I'm doing is reminiscing, and they don't even want to listen to it anyway. So yeah, if you catch yourself dwelling on the past, that needs to stop, and that needs to be a learning, and you need to venture into there about how would I deal with that differently. But the past, when you're dwelling in, you need confidence for the future. Freaking go back to your past, because that's what I've had to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, because it is you've sort of it's a pro. I love I'm big into Eckhart Tolle, and
yeah, it's good not being present.
Yeah, and that's it. It's exactly that. It's about being present, and it's about having ifs and buts. But let's be honest. If you'd have gone back to St Helens, yeah, you'd have had 2 more trophies. You may have extended your career a little bit, but would you change anything to where you are now and the person you have become?
It's fucking weird. It's weird. I was looking at my life. I just turned 40, and I'm just like, if someone had gone back to me when I was 17 and said, you're going to go on this run with St Helens, then you're going to go and play England tours, win championships, blah, 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 go to Australia, come back, beat an Australian girl, get your citizenship for Australia, have a beautiful English daughter, then she's an Australian citizen, you're going to live on the beach, then you're going to play for coaching. I'd have gone, fuck, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So no problem.
I just think personally, I don't know if it's rugby players or over in England, but I think we are kind of too hard on ourselves. Like you said, we do dwell too much in the past, don't we? Like, you're exactly right, Woody. I'm like, somebody said to me, this like little kid from Lee, you'd have won all them trophies, played them many appearances, played for your country in a World Cup, etc. You'd have snapped the hand off, wouldn't you? And I
Yeah.
think
Right, you would.
I think it's us as people that you always want more, don't you? You know, but within not greedy more, but like you always strive to do better. But I think when you break it down, you sit down, you know, you should take all them positives out of what you've achieved.
Yeah.
I think a big learning curve for me though. You'll have heard of Damien Hughes, won't you, Edmore?
Yes, yes.
Liquid thinker, and we worked with him at Warrington, and it was a great exercise, and it's something I tried to do a lot today, but a lot of it comes down to gratitude as well, because I think as ex-players, what we do is we tend to look back and think, I wish I'd have been a little bit more dedicated, I wish I'd have done this, I'd have done that, instead of having the actual gratitude for what we have achieved, because I'm exactly the same. I think I should have achieved more, but looking back, if someone would have said, look, you know, you're going to achieve X, Y, and Z, and I said, I'll snatch your hands off now. You know, so it's just having that little bit of gratitude, really, we have lived the life that so many people stand in the, you know, or sit in the stands or the stadium and they'd say, fuck, I'd have loved to live half your life, you know, and play half the games you've experienced.
True. And that's good, that, because I wake up every day, and what you're saying there, this is what I've studied for so many years, actually, after my career. And I wake up in the day, and the most simplest things make me happy. I don't have anxiety because I've trained it out of myself. I don't join in negative conversations because I don't hang around or listen or even attract to them type of people. I've just been to England, and I always wanted to come back to England, and I've got a different perspective, and I actually didn't like being in Australia, and I'm dying to come home and see everyone, and I've gone home, and then I've realised I fucking love this place where I'm at the moment. You know, I've sold 2 of my sports cars in the last bloody 14 months, and I'm not buying one now, and I've got this little push bike, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Right, and I look at it every day, and I'm like, look at my little bike, little push bike, and the tiny things I start with gratitude, and I'm just so grateful and happy for everything. I tend not to whinge; it's a habit. You've got to train yourself out of it. But you're spot on there. That is a great way of moving forward, and not a lot will bother you if you've got that mindset.
What we'll do, we'll just take a short break because we'll listen to some of our sponsors.
At Get a Tax Rebate, we make it easy for you or your business to claim back thousands of pounds in tax. Most people, like Jane and Philip, don't realise that they are owed money from HMRC, so they never claim. All you need to do is fill out a simple form on our website and we'll do the rest. It's that simple. We've also helped business owners claim back millions of pounds in research and development R&D tax credits. So if you're working in a business or own one, contact us today to see if we can help you claim back tax and improve your cash flow. Get a Tax Rebate, your tax refund concierge.
$18.95 Sports and State of Mind, the ultimate lineup.
Mickey Vienna Aesthetics based in Wigan. For all your wrinkle treatments, dermal fillers, lip enhancement, energy boost injections, immune boost injections, please visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Mickey Vienna Aesthetics.
CDX Security, proudly supporting Rugby League.
Yeah, so Mark, so obviously we talked about your injuries and your setbacks, and obviously you come to Salford, and I think your last injury at Salford was kind of the few probably a call saying, right, I'm possibly going to have to start looking elsewhere, and you made the tough decision to retire at only 28.
I did, yeah.
I think me knowing you inside your head, I don't think you're probably ready for retirement at 28, but you made the choice. And how did you deal with that? Because I knew you did struggle with some depression and the mental side of it. Just go through a little bit of that, because I think it'd be a really interesting bit that people can relate to this, because I played until I was 39, and I've probably gone on too long. But wow. even I'm honestly now, since I retired and before the COVID come, I was doing the FNC, the strength and conditioning with Lee lads this year. We played the first 4 games, and I was like, I was gutted I weren't playing. I'm like, I'm nearly 40. You know what I mean? I'm like, why am I not still playing out there? But obviously, from your point of view, just at your angle now, at a young age of 28, really, still young.
Well, back then, I don't know what I know now, but I know the science of what was going on with me, and I know I know it all. I love this story because this is what I want to write a book and save so many people's lives. Before I go into it, there's people over here, superstar rugby players, rugby league, rugby union, throwing themselves off freaking buildings, killing themselves, fucking rugby union players killing themselves, Olympic players wanting to commit suicide. It's just ridiculous. I know there's systems in place now where there's like welfare and people are really looking after the mental side of things in England and Australia. But I really want to, after I tell you my experience, thank God for psychology, because if I didn't have the understanding of what the hell was going on with me, I might not be here. That's a 10 quid fine, Micky.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, lads. I thought I'd turn that off.
There's always one.
Right.
My bad, lads.
I want to write a Bible and with a Bible on this, basically, this subject. When someone's finishing their career, they go, right, there's the book, there's the audio book. Take that with you and learn from that of how the transition's going to be and what you're thinking up here. So this is wonderful for depression, right? Oh, there's 2 types of depression, by the way. There's depression 1, which is my life is not going the way I really want it to go in this area, this area, this area, this area, this area. It could be any one of the areas, multiples, whatever. That's a depressed state of hopelessness, not sure how I'm going to get out of this. Oh my God, pondering, I'm not this anymore. And it depresses your state, and then you eat loads of food that makes you even worse. You stop exercising, you might take drugs, alcohol, whatever, and you just go down the rabbit hole in what's called a depressed state. You can get out of that, but you just need the education about what's going on. The clinical side of depression, so don't quote me as a doctor here, I'm just going off experience of who I've worked with and stuff like that, and reading books and talking to specialists. The clinical side could be an instance of I've got everything, but I still hate myself, still can't stop feeling blue. There's a cloud following me. It could be hormone problems, it could be brain trauma, it could be all sorts of things. So I just wanted to tell you the difference there. When I retired, for a week, I could hardly speak. I locked myself in my room. I was with my Australian girlfriend at the time in England, in Manchester, with my 1-year-old. I'd obviously done the things like checking my bank account, how long can I live? I had no experience to work, no job experience at all. I went from school as a pro to St Helens, never worked in my life. I have no idea what it's like. Then this wonderful thing called the economy crashed, and I had no idea what the fuck economy was. Right? What I was relying on for my future pension was my 3 houses that I had. Right? I got a phone call from my accountant who said, Edmo, you need to revalue your houses. And I'm like, why is that? And he goes, the economy's crashed. And I went, and what does that mean? He goes, well, in the next 1 or 2 years, what you paid for your house or what mortgage you've got, you're never going to be able to sell it for the price that you bought it for. And I'm like, but I've got equity in my house and it should go up in value, right? And he goes, no, you're going to lose your equity possibly, and you're going to lose the value that, oh bloody hell, what's the word? The value. God, come on, help me here. When you buy a house, you live in it for 3 years, and it's worth more.
Yeah, you're going to lose like your equity in it.
Yeah. So anyway, got them all valued, and literally 100 grand nearly on one house less in the space of another year. 2 tenants moved out of the other houses that I was renting. I couldn't afford to pay the mortgages. I had no money apart from my savings. So then the only choice I had was to sell them, because then my girlfriend wanted to move back to Australia because she didn't want to be in England if I wasn't, a career. I didn't have my career, etc. And I'm like, oh my God. So I sold all my houses. I sold my cars. I sold my furniture. I was living off my savings. It took me about a year to sell all the houses. I lost all my equity that I was planning on for a future. And I came out with about 18 grand. That's after selling my cars and my furniture, paying off all the fees for the houses. I literally went to Australia with, I'd lost my identity as a rugby player. I have no career. I have 18 grand to live off for the rest of my life. I've got a child to support, and to top it off, I'm leaving my family and I'm going to live across the other side of the world where I didn't plan to live. So I didn't have a lot of time to get too down. I just had to sort it all out because my ex was going to leave even if I didn't come. So I was thinking, do I stay here and start being a coach and be without my daughter? So I made a choice to go and be with my daughter. But you still there, Micky?
Yeah, no, I'm...
Yeah, sorry.
I've said this before with Paul, especially with you, I love listening to you, and I'm enthralled because I'm kind of relating to you, like say your choice with things change in rugby when you have a family, don't they? As soon as your family, I think when you're single and young, or just you and your partner as a rugby player, you're selfish, aren't you? It's all about you, innit?
Yeah.
I think as soon as your family comes along, your circumstances change so much, and you're just really intriguing again that.
Basically, Nicole, I don't know if you met her, but Nicole was
come to our house, Nicole.
Yeah. Well, she said, I'm not working.
Sorry, I remember saying, I said, what are you doing with this guy here?
Oh, that's right. We came round, yeah.
You met her on Australia Day when she was blind drunk, and he managed work. He had the gift of the gab. I think he got hold of
her. I didn't have a lot of time to get down, but it just all hit me. But when I was on the flight, when I landed in Australia, that 18 grand turned into 45 grand of savings. That was to pay rent, that was to get a car, that was to build a business, that was to just get maybe 6 to 8 months to go, what the fuck is next? So when I got there, that's when I really got close to the edge. I can remember lying in bed. Well, I've just woke up in the morning and I thought I was in England, and then I'd smile on my face and I'd look around and I realised I'm in Australia. And I started to, feel the dark cloud coming over me. I didn't want to, I had to help out with my daughter and everything, and Nicole, and I just couldn't be positive. I didn't want to see anyone. I just wanted to basically lock myself in the front room, watch telly, fall asleep. I started smoking for the stress. I don't think I drank that much then, but when I did drink, friggin' hell, the depression the next day was even worse. But I didn't know what depression was back then. It was just like, why is this happening to me? Poor me, blame. Right? And then thank God, one day, I got back into training, started getting my body moving, started eating healthy, stopped smoking, drinking. And I got myself out for sunset every single morning. And I was walking on the beach. I was having that time on my own, talking to the gods, whoever they are and shit. And I was just praying, please send me a sign. Fuck, am I going to go on the dole? I've got a kid to feed. Like, what am I going to do? I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I look back on my career and I realised when I was a kid, I was told I was never, ever going to be anything that I said I was going to be. Everyone says you're not good enough, strong enough, fast enough, fit enough, you're from the wrong school, wrong area, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I visualised what I wanted, told myself, fuck them, I'm going to get it. and I spoke what I wanted, and I went after everything, and it got me success. That morning, in particular, I felt that power from going through the academy, going into the under-20s, going into the first team, working under frigging Millwood, who busted me balls every single day, and all the hardships. I went, right, so what did I do back then? I got a vision. I wrote out a vision. I pondered on a vision, which is to be a pro rugby player. Then what did I do? I spent hours upon hours of visualising it, believing it's already done, just had to do it. So I did that. Then I started like planning, what do I want now? What would give me the satisfaction and give me the identity, a new identity? And that's when I come up with sports psychology and the power of the mind, and a public speaker and an author and a coach and UFC and England. And it was all going crazy. So I wrote out the vision. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to live in a high rise. I want my Porsche back. I want loads of money coming in. I don't want to work too many hours. I want to be on stage. I want to travel. I want to work from home. I want plenty of time to spend doing the things I want, barbecues, coffees, the luxury life, maybe work 2 or 3 days a week. And I started the process again, Micky and Woody. And then once I planned it all out, then I had to start doing it. So with the money I had left, I did 3 psychology diplomas in a row in record time, blitzed them all. I did my personal training certificates, and I got a job for 2 wonderful years as a personal trainer until I can transition into a full-time coach and speaker. Right. Fucking hell. I lived off 4 hours a day, 4 hours a day of sleep. Right. Once I just started to get one thing turn up and another turn up, I'd go back to the visualization, I'd see the next thing. Oh, you should have seen what happened. It was just crazy. It went from having nothing, nearly running out of money, to getting a gig at the Gold Coast Titans in the NRL, working for the NRL, in the under-18s as a defence coach, plus sports psych. Then I went to the 20s. Then I went to the first team. Next minute, I'm back. My identity. I'm on TV, traveling with all the boys, fucking high-fiving Scotty Prince, going for coffees. It was fucking amazing. Doing seminars for kids, inspiring them. I bought me Porsche again. And then it went on to the UFC. And the rest is history in my coaching career, like you saying, and all that sort of stuff. So it was the same process. But I nearly thought about topping myself. I really did. I thought, I don't see a way out. And if it wasn't for my past and them wonderful mentors, I fucking wouldn't have got out of it.
Do you see yourself as quite a spiritual person, Edmore? Because that's like sort of the vibe I'm getting from you, or...
I don't preach religion or anything like that, but I'm massively connected to... And it's a cliche word as well, universe and all that shit. I'm certainly connected. Yeah, I pray. I've got like a sticker on my fridge, and it said "Expect a miracle," and I touch it every day. I don't search for a miracle. I just touch it, and I feel a miracle. And there's been so many times in my life where I've had some bloody miracles. I speak to the stars regularly. I pray.
You've been doing that for years, you speak to the stars.
I do. I fucking do, honestly. God, yeah.
No, honestly, it's fantastic, your insights. I just think it gives out a powerful message, what it doesn't it? That, like, in our industry, what we do, sport and, entertainment, whatever, there is going to be hard times, tough times, and I just think that positive attitude, you've always had a positive mental attitude, Edmore. I think that's what made you driven. Certainly, when you were inspirational to me, even though we were kind of 2 younger lads coming through at the Saints at the time, and we managed to hold our own in a star-studded team for years. There, you know what I mean? We played regularly. I think, your positive attitude rubbed off on me, because I was just I'm just, me, Woody. I'm one of them lads. It's just, I'll be all right, won't it? We'll crack on. You give me a kick up the backside sometimes. Sometimes I just think it's a powerful message, this one today. I think it's No, again, I've been. You've been captured me in it. I've been listening again, and it's given me little kickstarts to think. Well, I need to start doing some more of this because my rugby career just finished now. You know, I think it's a real strong team, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly identify with what you're saying with a lot of you're saying because, you know, for me, when I came away from rugby, I started getting more into this stuff because I sort of found myself in a position where I was thinking, fuck, what am I? You know, I left school, I become a professional rugby player. Yeah, I'd got qualifications. You know, I'd done same myself. I did a personal training qualification. I'd done my master's degree in sports science. But even though I'd got those qualifications, I still didn't have my identity. And it did push me to become more of a spiritual person. And I'm exactly like you. I believe in the power of the universe. You know, I'm connected to something. And do you know what? It might sound... To some people, that might sound a little bit, like I said, a bit witchcraft, really, I suppose. But when you put it in a sporting terms, we call it the zone. We call it getting in the flow. Do you know? And that's all it is. You're just transitioning that sort of language or terminology into your everyday life. For me,
yeah. If you listen to loads of the greats like movie stars, if you listen to Conor McGregor, etc., they're all telling the same thing. You know, we're all connected. You can literally shape your reality. But we're never taught this shit in school, so it's weird. It's different, and you looked as like you're crazy. But once you experience it, the miracles of what you can create, and it's just been hidden. That's why The Secret is called The Secret. You know, watching The Secret, there's a few more rules that I would like to add to it, but it was lovely for a movie and stuff like that. But the principles of being connected and you know, changing and distorting your future starts with them processes that we've been talking about.
Do you still, so obviously losing your identity as a rugby player, but do you sort of connect the two now? What makes you happy? Do you have to have that identity as something? So you're happy because your identity is you're a sports psychologist now and you're doing this mentoring, or are you just, can you disconnect from that and still be in a great place?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're pretty much ruled by our identity. It could be you've got a wonderful marriage and you're a wonderful mum and your kids and you don't want anything else in the world. It's just, that's your identity. If anything happens, a breakup or whatever, and that identity is taken away, that can just ruin someone. And trying to find the next identity, that's the challenge. I had to let go of the talk that rugby is still my identity, but it's not the major topic of my conversation in this day unless I'm talking wonderfully about a story that's inspiring or something. So I hardly talk about my rugby career unless it's professional.
Right.
My identity now was coaching England. I aspired to play for England at rugby union at Twickenham, and I fucking manifested myself, and I'm there singing at Twickenham against New Zealand and multiple games, singing the national anthem at the top of my lungs down on pitch side. And I attracted that, and I wanted to work in the UFC. I got a mental story about the UFC, how I attracted that one. My identity now is a coach, and just a fucking top person who's inspiring. And I'd like to say that my identity is I love my family. I've lost all the ego from the rugby days where you've got to think you're just the world's best and you don't give a shit about anyone. I've become the opposite. I've just become really humble. I wouldn't mind actually living out on a farm in the middle of England, maybe Windermere or something, with acreage and stuff, and have loads of kids, loads of animals, work from home on the computer now again, write loads of books, and not see hardly anyone. I don't care about fame anymore. I've really worked out success and fame after working for England. It was just that the craziest high of heights for my new identity. And I've just reached the top of the height of that, and it's not what it's all cracked out to be.
I think the danger is as well, It sounds funny this. I do miss my rugby days, but I'm happier now than when I was playing rugby. But I think the danger comes is when we try to connect happiness with success or with money. I think that becomes, I suffered some really dark days during my rugby career when everything was going brilliant. Everything was going brilliant. And, but looking back, I know that I connected my happiness to what I was doing at that particular time, and I had to disconnect from that. And that's how I got into spirituality, really. It was that made me, look at the power of the universe and becoming happy with, what I am. Just because I'm not a rugby player anymore doesn't mean I can't be happy. And I'm probably happier now than I am when I was playing.
Well, we're all, I'd like to say for all of the population, we're all wired pretty much the same, right? We need to be significant. If we're insignificant, we fall into the depression, we hate ourselves and we'll sabotage ourselves. So we've got to find out what our significance is. And it's in many different forms for many different people. But you've just got to connect with what makes sense to you and what you really want to connect to. And getting that is so important. So if you want the best body in the world, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want the car and it's material, but it makes you happy, then go for it. If doing charity work and you don't care about money, you want to be a hippie and stuff like that and do, things with animals and, take care of stuff, then no problem. I believe happiness is 50 is money and success. Trust me, it brings a lot of happiness. It really does. But it's not the core of happiness. The core of happiness is being healthy, receiving love, giving love to the people around you, having great conversations, being nice, being looked at as a good person, and helping people and giving back. So a lot of my purpose nowadays is giving back. I'm changing people for the good from my past, from all my learnings, and that makes me more happier than money. But I want money as well. I want it all, and we're entitled to have it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's in exclusive of each other. I think the reason I probably feel happier now is because we've touched on it as rugby players. We become very selfish as people because even though we're in a team sport, we're looking after number one because we know that there's 2 or 3 people in our position and they basically want to take bread off our table. But for me, I know now subconsciously that wasn't what my purpose was. I know now I was neglecting my kids. Micky will tell you I'm a lot closer to my kids now, and being a father is a lot more important to me. And I look back and I do have some regrets on, I missed, my kids walking or the first swimming lessons because I was doing other stuff that was, at the time, I felt was more important. So I think it's about, finding that purpose, what your true self is. And do you know what? It's fucking not easy, that. It's not easy.
No, that's why reading the books and going to the seminars and watching the podcasts and listening and you'll find it. But where you guys are at, I'd say, 12 years ago when I retired, that's what I went in search for, and it gave me the answers. And that's what I believe when people just come out of the rugby clear, it's that stage that you're starting now, and it's great that you've got the mindset right now because God knows what you're going to learn in the next 2 or 3 years and who you're going to be and how happy you're going to be and how much you're going to learn from the past and take what was good and learn what was bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's fantastic that. So we've not got long to go now. So I said the serious stuff and the real, messages that we've sent across. We have got some funny stuff, and I'd like to share a few of we've got a couple of tales, that certainly us 3 know about the stories. There's certainly one that, springs to mind. Everybody, it's on the St Helensburgh, we had a couple of drinks down your neck of the woods one afternoon, didn't we? And if you've ever read Sean Long's book, the house he was alluding to in the book was your house. Well, not your house, your next door. So just give us the true life event of that story and put it into words if you've ever read the book.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Let's do it.
It's not that bad. So I think we're mid-season. We'd won semi-final and Challenge Cup. We've got a long weekend where we got Monday off, I think. And I lived in the countryside in a 4-bedroom detached house. And it's one of them old little English villages where there's a pub every 500 metres away. Every 5 miles away, sorry. But it was a really nice trek. And I said to Longy, Darren Albert, John Wilkin, can't remember who else was there. I said, what about tomorrow? Hold on, my battery. No, it's not right. I said, what about tomorrow, right? You come down to mine early in the morning. I'll get a barbecue on. We'll have a barbecue midday. We'll get on the Coronas. I've got about 10 bikes in my garage, and we've got these crazy costumes, right? And I says, we'll have some beers, and then we'll go on a pub crawl. And then when we're on the way back, we'll get on, we'll shower up, and we'll go into the city in Lancaster and have a fucking awesome night. So long he's up for it, because he's crazy, and the rest of them. And anyway, I prep everything for them. They turn up. And you know what? To start off with, we're buzzing. We're about 3 or 4 Coronas down. We're having burgers, and it was a gorgeous day. And then we started to get a little bit tipsy, and then Longy's like, right, let's go. So we got the bikes out, chose the bikes. These were all my uncle's bikes, because he dealt in scrap, and he really loved his bikes. And I've done this bike ride before. So anyway, we've got these wolf hats, sheep hats, gorilla hats, fucking all sorts of hats. And we hardly wore any clothes. So anyway, we're all tipsy. We get to the first pub. We neck a pint, have a chat. We go to the next pub. We had a pint. We're still being okay, but we're getting tipsy. We get to another pub, which is over a massive viaduct, right? Over a massive viaduct. We go to a pub, and this is where shit started getting crazy. There's no license across the road. Longy goes across the road, or John Wilkin, can't remember, and he buys a massive bottle of whiskey. The biggest one you can get, right? And we're sat outside with a pint each, and we had to have a swig each until the bottle of whiskey was gone, right? We ended up having 2 more pints at that pub, to the point where Longy's absolutely alienated himself. I don't know, he can't even understand what he's talking about. John Wilkin's doing the slug across a zebra crossing, and all the cars are trying to knock him down and beeping at him, and guys are jumping out, and he just didn't give a shit. And I'm there looking at AD Gardner going, oh my God, what's going to happen? Boys, I just need to plug this computer in, just 2 seconds.
Doesn't sound like Longy, that, does it?
No.
No. They don't. Right, so can't have the battery going in the middle of the frigging Longy story. So when I'm around Longy, when we were around Longy, it sort of sobers you up, because I don't think I've ever met anyone that you can be. I don't know. It's not like a competition, but he just goes to another planet. Yeah. So I start getting worried about the 15k bloody bike ride home, my uncle's bikes, and the safety of everyone. So the viaduct was about a mile away, and Longy gets to the viaduct with Adi, with Wilco, and they threw the bikes over the viaduct. It's about like an 80-foot drop, and then they jump into a cornfield, stripped down to the bloody undies, and they're doing ballerina jumps through the cornfields. They head up to this track, and they see a farmer in a tractor. So the next thing I see, they're stopping this farmer, and then they're in the tractor, and the tractor takes off towards my house, and I'm left on a bike with whoever else was left. And yeah, we're absolutely blind. I was falling off my bike, worried about what's happening. I get to my house. It was absolutely mayhem. Longy smashing everything up. Wilco smashing everything up. I don't know how we got dressed and showered, but we ended up in town. We pulled over a police car. And the policeman recognised Longy, and we all ended up jumping in the police car, and he took us to the club, pulled us outside the club. We got VIP into the club. I couldn't even pronounce a word, and my subconscious took me home, basically. I don't know how I got home, but I had the keys in my pocket. I didn't even try the door. I climbed up the drain pipe, broke into my bedroom through the window, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up in the morning with the police with a torch in my face. And it turns out that Longy got the wrong house. So the taxi driver pulls up. My neighbours, coincidentally, are on holiday. Right? That's just ridiculous. And he's shouting, Edmo, open this fucking door. And he's got like a curry and chips and stuff like that. And he said, if you don't open the door, Edmo, I'll smash it in. So he smashes the door in. He looks around, no lights on, no one's home. So he goes, oh, fuck this, I'm just going to go to bed. So he spills curry all the way up the stairs, goes in the bedroom, but this is the funniest bit, finishes off his curry and lies back, and the moonlight's coming in the bedroom, and he says he looked up and he saw loads of like family pictures. And he's like, Why has Edmo got loads of family pictures in his bedroom? Anyway, he fucking set the alarm off and the police turned up and arrested him, but let him off because he told the story. And Longy gave me a check. Longy gave me a check for about $1,000 and a signed autograph, and I talked the neighbours into, you know, not pressing charges or anything and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of the all-time great stories that.
It was a good one.
Yeah, no, it's always comes up in conversation now. It's a cracker. What are we fixed up, buddy? Are we?
Yeah, I think we've done a good hour and 15 there. I think we've got a lot of content there, haven't we? It's you know, we could go on all day, couldn't we? But
yeah, we could do another good few hours here, easy. You know,
I've not even told you half of the stuff that I wanted to tell you.
Do you know what?
Hey, you'll have to get me back on to finish off the stories.
Well, we'll do Mark Edmondson Part 2 in a coming months. That'll be definitely we'll do that. But again, it's been great to see you, Mark. And you know, I miss you, mate. I really do miss you. And
I miss you, mate. I've been so excited all week just thinking about chatting with you. And I was a bit pissed off with myself that I didn't meet you in the year that I was with England. But I was travelling to London every bloody week. When I got back, all I wanted to do was just get on the piss and just relax and crash out. But,
yeah, totally understand.
Yeah.
But I know I'd love to be able to. I'd certainly love to be able with the family come out one day and, you know, have an holiday over there and, you know, crashing your room free hotel.
100%. 100%. Any of you welcome. Any of the rugby league community is bloody welcome. Woody, anyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, thanks for your time, Mark. It's been really brilliant to speak to you. And I said we'll probably definitely catch up again soon.
Yeah, outstanding, mate. There's such good content there. And do you know what? Especially for like the younger lads who are coming up in the career, you know, even my lad's 12 now, I'll sit him down, I'll say, listen to this. Academy lads coming through. It's so inspirational to hear your story because, let's be honest, you've achieved a lot. There's not many people who have won Super League, Challenge Cup medals, played the NRL, played international rugby, and then gone on and had a career afterwards working with the UFC and England Rugby Union, etc. So it's very, very inspirational. I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot out of that.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. But you should see what's coming next.
Brilliant. We can't wait. We can't wait.
I'll fill you in on that next show.
Definitely.
All right. Love you to pieces. Love your work. Great to chat. Contact me anytime. Let's have a video chat. Person, like not on here, but let's catch up more.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks, Edmo.
Thank you very much. Cheers.